Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EQOA Nostalgia here, and I regret to inform you that this is the final Sandstorm video I will ever upload. This isn't going to come as a shock to really anybody. I've pretty much been done with Sandstorm for about a year and a half or so. The missus left and I followed with her. We actually quit a while before, so we left twice. The first time we left was after the whole meltdown over we're building this for ourselves and whatnot, and then I came back and tried to just forget about everything because my focus was the community. And I know that sounds cliche and some people might think it's nonsense, but it's the truth. I wanted to keep, I don't know, I felt like I had to keep going on, like I couldn't stop because I had been doing it for so long. And a lot of people don't realize Sandstorm is something that was building up for a long time. A lot of people might think, it's only been around for like 3 or 4 years, but no. It started in its infancy around 2014, and I've been covering it ever since, over 86 videos. So it's been a significant part of my life, and it takes a long time to edit videos. And I know there's a lot of people that don't appreciate that because, we all have worked 9 to 5s. We understand that, there's work and then there's making YouTube videos, right? But YouTube videos, they take a lot of time. And as you start to get older, you realize that time is very precious. When you're younger, it's like, whatever, you've got all the time in the world, right? But then as you start to get older, you realize I'm spending a lot of time on something and it's taking away from other aspects of my life. So in a way, this is me kind of saying goodbye to Sandstorm, but not only that, there's a new chapter in my life that's happening. There's a lot of things that have changed here over the past couple of years. We're going to be moving and just a lot of personal stuff that I don't want to get into. And life is like that. It's like there's chapters that happen in your life. If you think back on it, it's almost like a book. It's kind of weird. There's usually not just one change that happens, there's several, and then you can trace history through those different moments and who you're with and the times and what you're doing. And that's part of why I've always loved EQOA, because it reminds me of one of the best times of my life. That's when I met the missus, and I was thoroughly addicted to the game for a couple of years. And it was really special to us, and it still is. It remains special. But Sandstorm has basically run its course for us. You might have noticed that my IP has been banned. Now, this isn't something I don't believe was individually handed out. I don't think anybody said, oh, we need to get rid of this guy. I don't like what he's saying on YouTube or whatever. Because it seems like they changed some stuff over there, and it kind of created a false positive situation where people's IPs are getting flagged or something. I've heard a couple of different stories about it from people. But there's a number of people who have been having trouble connecting to the server. My issue with that is, well, first of all, I don't really care enough to try to work it out because I haven't played in any real capacity. I'll just stand around and soak up the atmosphere. I'll put it on the CRT and, and just hang out, just stand around reading the chat. Every now and then I'll speak to people if they see me when they run by. So it's not really worth it for me to try to reach out and get it corrected. And I can't anyways because I've been banned from the Discord ever since the fallout that happened like 3 years ago. So I put together a bit of a montage of my time from 2014 all the way up to now. Actually, a little bit before that, when there were efforts to try to stop EQOA from being sunset back in 2012. And then there's a little bit of the Facebook group I put in there from around that time with the Elder Council. And just to start, the beginnings of trying to get EQOA back, all the work that went into it. And just the time that I've spent trying to promote it and just keep the memories alive, So I realize some of you might be thinking, why a montage for Sandstorm after all the garbage that's happened over the past couple of years? Well, it's not just what happened over the past couple of years. Again, this stretches way back. And before it ever turned into Sandstorm and went online and went into a different direction, I made dozens of videos, and the community reconnected in a way that we hadn't seen in years. We were able to go around the world, and people had hand-placed all these NPCs again, and because there was no aggro, you could explore till your heart's content and just run around the world there. You could teleport around, and I got to see things that I never saw before. And it was almost like a second chapter for EQA, like an extension. But it occurred to me sometime in the last year or so that nothing's ever going to measure up to those days. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this, because it's something I've had to really deal with for a while now, is that you can't really go back. You lived it, and that was a certain time in your life, and that's it. Nothing's ever going to match up to that first love. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Let me know. Make sure you smash that like button. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.